Jordan, it's always a pleasure to see you, my friend. And it's funny because before we started this interview, actually a couple of days ago, I was going through a bunch of photos,
Hmm.
and I would have to say you, probably Maestro and Carl Wolf are probably the three people I have the most photos with, and probably the most interviews that I've done
Oh
over
wow,
the years,
wow.
because it just seems like it's at least, I would say, a year or a year and a half for the last, I don't know, man, maybe, can I say 12, 13 years at
Yeah,
least,
yeah,
you
yep,
know,
definitely 13. Yeah.
um, where we've done an interview. And if
Hmm.
not one, we've done maybe two
That's
there,
right.
man.
Yeah,
And it's been amazing watching you grow as an artist, man. How do you feel being in this business for as long as you have, man?
I feel. You know what? I feel really good about it. I was talking to a couple of my friends the other day about it. Just a lot of people get in this business, and it's a tough business to stay in and really keep a career, a solid career. And I've been really proud to be able to say that, hey, I'm still here after all these years. And I just signed a new deal with a new company, and so the resilience and just the hard work, paying off for me because it's not easy. This business is not easy, but I've been able to stick with it, and we're still here, Rudy. Still doing
What,
it.
Barry White is always, I mean, he actually had a song called Staying Power.
Hmm.
What do you actually consider your staying power? Because man, when I think about all the interviews we've done over the years, with you and I first being introduced to each other, the style of music that you've recorded over the years. I remember once in the middle of the interview when you kind of talked about your health and how you almost died.
Hmm.
Um, the change of location on where you live, being a family man now too, or a dad. Um, just so many things. What is the evolution of Jordan? What does that mean? If that was going to be, if Jordan was going to be in the dictionary, what was that? What would that mean? And what keeps you going like that?
I think as far as in the industry and with my following and my fans, I think it's my voice for one. Uh, and the resilience of continuing to stay in this and creating great music. I've been fortunate to have some great producers, songwriters that I collaborate with, and continue to create great music. I've had some good producers and engineers in my corner that have been there helping me hone this new sound and continue to make records.
Was there ever a time where you just thought to yourself, why am I still doing this? Maybe it's time for me to pack it up?
100%. And just as of recently, like in the past year and a half, it's I had a point where it's like, all right, maybe I need to think about doing something else with my life and, find a different passion, career move. And, as soon as that happened, I didn't stop, but I continued to keep working. And Sonny Diamonds is one of my really good friends. And, he gave me a call one day. He's like, hey, I want you to meet these guys. And met these guys. Soul Gala is the company out of Toronto. It's an independent label, and they figured out a situation with Sony Orchid in the US. So we
Wow.
been able to after all these years, and there's a rough spot there for a while where I didn't put out music when streaming kind of happened, and it's because of the bad contracts that I was in that I tried to get out of, and it took too long. So I guess the resilience of just continuing to stay with it, and when you think it's like, maybe I'm done, I just kept going, and then it happened, and it was literally a span of a couple months where I was like, all right, what the hell am I gonna do? And then I just said, you know what, just keep going, keep making it, keep making records, keep making records, keep doing it. And and then the deal came on the table, and we're back at it. I'm talking to you again.
Which I love. Does does the climate um does the climate put you in a position of wondering if you should do this or not? When I say the climate, I mean you've got new artists who are always coming out, and they're great artists, and you trying to figure out where you fit in that landscape. Does that have anything to do with that?
I'd say yeah, a little bit, but for me, being having started my career a lot earlier than some of these younger artists that
Mhm.
are I'm in that space. I was kind of lucky because I had the power of radio before streaming happened, and especially in Canada, and having a following from that, and being on the road with Classified and touring the country and being able to do that before streaming was a thing has really helped my career stay on course. So it gets tough, but you just keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Classified because there are a lot of times when I'm talking to him, your name comes up. What's the magic between the two of you?
That's my brother, man. We go way back. When I started out my career, I started out here getting beats from Trobiz, and I was working for the school board at the time. And I met Class. Shout out to Martin Finch from the Rock Pilot Trailer Park Boys. He told me, like, bro, you better get Class's beats, man. You better get out there and get some work done. So we made that happen. And as soon as I started working with him, the first song we did was "Feeling Fine." So that was the first record that I put out on his label, and it was on his Hitchhiking Music album. And from there, it was just like, hey, come on tour again. Got to leave my job, come on tour again. So he's been a real big help, and I got to thank him in front of the whole East Coast community last night on stage, because I was presenting the Hip Hop Music Awards last night, and City Natives won. But
Wow.
class was in there, and I got to thank him for all the stages he's allowed me to share with him.
Man, he's truly the godfather of the East Coast, man.
Yeah,
He
man.
truly is.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
I love what he's doing out there. But you kind of said, you said, he's like your brother, family. When we talk about family, man, let's talk about your daughter. What's it like being a dad at this point in your career?
it's the best job in the world. It's when everything else in the world seems like things are going upside down. Sometimes the best moments are spending time with her. Somebody asked me, what do you do for fun? I'm like, that's what I do for fun. That's my fun time. Besides doing music, when I have fun, it's going to the playground with my daughter, or reading, or doing homework. That's my fun. So it's definitely the best job in the world.
Does she know who you are to us? I mean, we know that you're Pappy
Hmm.
at home,
Hmm.
but does she know who you are to us when we talk to you?
Yeah, she definitely does. She's been on stage with me a few times. Yeah, she knows. She's seen the videos. Her grandfather, actually, when she visits him, he plays all of my albums for her. So she definitely has a great idea. And she's quite the singer herself, Rudy.
Ah,
I've been teaching her vocal lessons since she was in the womb. So she has a voice. Just don't know if she wants to use it yet, but she loves to sing.
how old is she now, if you don't mind me asking?
8. Yeah,
She's 8.
8. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just curious. Has she done the bring parent to school day
No,
yet? Or
no, but she has told her music teacher, who she adores. She loves her music teacher. She's definitely told him. I've met him. I've been to a couple of her recitals at the school. So, I'm one of the actually I went to her um what was it, communion, and the pastor was there, and he mentioned, if you have a dad that sang in Canadian Idol or something. I'm like, oh, okay, I hear you. So it's like, you can sing along a little louder, maybe. So she definitely knows. Yeah.
you know what, man? Like I said, I'm so happy for you,
Thank
and especially at this point in your career, and the fact that you are still making music, man. That's one of the big reasons why we're talking, because we got a new single that's out. Before we actually say the name of the single, um, I want to go back, and you kind of mentioned it before. What was your headspace like before you started being back in the studio to create more music? What was going on? Because we're still talking about, um, you know, getting out of the pandemic. So all of us were going through a lot during that time. How do
Yeah.
you refocus from the pandemic to creating great music again?
I think it's not so much of a refocus, because during the whole pandemic, I was stuck here in Nova Scotia. I'm at my parents' house. I was stuck here in Nova Scotia, and I had to learn how to record myself. And, so I just continued making music. I think my headspace was just like, okay, this is a great time now to sit down and actually hone in on what I'm trying to do to finish this album. And, I had a grant, a factor grant for the album, the Ralph album that I put out. And
Oh,
I literally had to figure out what that sound was going to be, what the album was going to look like. And during that pandemic, I just continued to record, continued to write and record, and just I got more recording done actually than I ever would. So yeah.
Did your story writing change from what you were doing before the pandemic to after? Because we all changed in some way, shape, or form during the pandemic. So I'm curious, would you have written what you wrote if the pandemic never happened?
I think, yeah, I don't think that it's affected my songwriting at all.
Mhm.
It's made me, like you were talking about earlier, maybe realize what space and what lane I definitely want to be in, and being able to focus and hyper focus on what type of records I was writing at the time. So yeah, I don't think it's totally affected the way I was creating, as far as song titles and concepts and whatnot. So yeah, it was. The pandemic was tough for a lot of us, but I think for me that was a time where I was really, okay, I can get this done. Let me get this album done, and the fact it gave me a little bit more time. So I just continued to write and create music during and now.
Thank God for that. So let's get into it. Let's make this part official. What is the name of the new single? What is it about? And how does it represent you in this point in your career?
It's Call My Name as a single. It's about giving your all to somebody, and
Mm.
in a in a way where it's physical, emotional, spiritual, giving your full soul to someone. But it's a kind of has a nice little groove to it. And when we were first creating it, Eric Dixon and Eastbound, they came up with this vibe because we were doing like an 80s kind of feel thing. So there's an 80s feel, but then we just changed the drums up a little bit, and it's moving a little bit more with some different snares and whatnot. And it feels good. It feels good. You can definitely dance to it.
Well, I was just going to say, I can't remember who I was speaking with last week, but I was talking about the same thing. Um, Retrofile. I was talking to them about this, and because they were doing, they've got like a sort of 80s kind of sound going for themselves. And I remember saying in the interview, which I'll say to you, is that something that's becoming a lost art where new music is being created that we can actually dance to, or words that you could say to your partner if you can't figure out what you want to say? Because I know I grew up old school. And if I didn't know what to say, I mean, I learned what to say because of the old school songs that I listened to, use their lyrics. I knew how to dance because there were lots of music on how to dance. And again, no knocking the artists of today, but let's face it, you go to a club right now, 9 times out of 10, they're playing old school music, not the new stuff to dance.
It's true. And I mean, I guess during the oh, are you there? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, still here,
During
still going.
during the pandemic, we weren't dancing.
No.
It was, and if you were keeping your social distance. But
Moonwalking most of the time.
yeah, no, I mean, it's been a great, to come out of the pandemic and be able to go on stage and perform, and have people touching each other and hugging each other again. And so definitely have geared my next few singles into that mode. There's definitely some dance elements involved where it's moving and it's up tempo. So yeah, it's we're back outside, I guess.
Okay. The other thing that I was looking at, and I'm going, I can put these two pictures together, and I bet you people can't tell the difference. You and Prince with a fro. What's going on with the look, man?
Hey man, you know what? I got a new team, and my manager Joey, him and David Forto, I forget if that's how you pronounce his name. They came up with the hair, and his girlfriend Tia were like, we were just getting in and meeting about the music, and then I guess they asked me like what I was missing from my career, my whole career, and I told them that style and having a distinct look, and I feel like that's what my career has been missing. They were like, you're, and I had braids at the time because I braided my hair and letting it grow for a while,
Yeah.
but they were like, your hair is the thing. So they made the conscious decision to be like, hey, we're gonna focus on that afro. And right now it's looking a little peasy. Really, I was up late last night in the city of Halifax, and it's not it doesn't have the moistness to it right now, but the hair
Mhm.
is is kind of like the marketing look for what we're going for, and so we're just kind of focused on that. And they got a great team around me. And when they asked me to send them some references, I sent them Maxwell pictures from because he's big influence for me.
Yes.
He was doing like the retro look when he was really in his prime of his career. He had the retro look going, and we kind of use that as a reference, and that's where we're at with it.
I love it, man. I
Thank-
I absolutely love where you go. As you know, man, the braids are gone, man. I took
yeah,
mine's out. I'm
yeah,
going
yeah.
for the short look. It's nice, it's comfortable, and I can wear hats. So I'm happy about. I don't know how you're going to do the hat thing though.
I got to braid it down if I want to wear hats, but every once in a while I'll braid it up. But they do have those big, huge toques that people put over their froze. I've been looking for those. If you know anybody that's got any of them and where to get them, let me know.
Amazon, brother.
Amazon.
Amazon. You know that.
Yeah,
Always hit Amazon.
that's
Uh,
right.
you got a single.
Yep.
What about EP or album, or are you just going to do singles? And also, will you be hitting tours? I know you're coming to Toronto for a special event.
I have. Well, we're working on the album. It was initially going to be an EP, but I think, I mean, I'm at the point in my career where I want to just put out a full body of work and not do this short game, because I feel like, I mean, the audience is, they've really, really been zoned into just little bits of music at a time, and it's so oversaturated in the music game. But I feel like I'm an artist. I can continue to put out full albums. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to roll out 3 singles, Rudy, and then we're going to come probably late July, early August with the album. So it's coming soon.
Fantastic. Before we go, any advice for the young cats out there, man? Because, like I said, you've been in the game for a long time. A lot of them probably don't even understand when you said about radio play to streaming. All they
Mhm.
know is streaming. All they
Yeah,
know is TikTok. All they know is
yeah.
all the other forms of social media. What advice can you give them? Because I know one of the things, I think we talked about this before, one of the things that you did say, which a lot of artists that I've known and respected over the years have said, that a lot of people who feel like they just need to sing on YouTube and just post that, you got to be out there live in front of an audience. What other advice can you give, including that?
I would say to not get discouraged in a an industry that's full of talent, and you know just continue to work hard at your skill, your craft. And if you stay resilient and stay in it, and you put those blinders up, you can have some great success in this music business if you work hard and continue to do it, and not give up, and believe in yourself. That's the number one thing. Believe in what you do, and believe in yourself, and that'll take you a lot further than you would think.
Yeah, get them people out of their ear that's going, you can't do this. No,
Yeah,
it's not going
right,
to
yeah,
happen.
that's right. If you're passionate about it, do it. And what I'm saying, those blinders up, and focus on that goal and keep going.
Amen to that. My brother, thank you so much for the interview. Congratulations. Like I
You
said,
really.
I will see you as we speak. I'll see you next week.
Yes.
And
Come
looking
true. All
forward
right.
to that. It's
All
gonna
right.
be a blast. Cannot wait.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, all the best in 2023. I am so glad that, like I said, at least every year and a half, I know I got some Jordan music coming and I got an interview too. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, my
Thank
brother.
you, Rudy, and thank you for always, allowing me to come and speak with you, because you've been a staple in this industry for a long time, and I appreciate any time I get to talk to you.
Big love.
Thank you, brother.